Hi, my name is John Dyer, and I'm a web developer out of Dallas, Texas. And I have the privilege to show you a neat new thing from the Digital Bible Society that we're just tentatively calling a Bible browser. What this is a Bible software application that runs in a browser. So in this case, it's Google Chrome, and it runs right off of the hard drive or off of a thumb drive with no need to install or no need to actually go to the internet. It's just a web application that runs locally. In this case, I've got three versions up here. I've got an English version, a Greek version, and a Russian version here. And as you can see, when you scroll up and down, all three columns are going to scroll together in sync. But I can turn that off by clicking on the lock button here and turning it on or off. So when it's off, this column will scroll independently, but these two will still scroll together. But I can turn that back on so we're all working together. And as I move my mouse over verses, you're going to notice that the corresponding verse in the other three columns is highlighted with a light blue, which helps you keep track across versions if you're reading multiple different versions, which verse you're on, since each text is slightly different in terms of its size and how it's formatted. There's a number of versions here with different languages here. This is a Turkish version and also an Arabic version, which is right to left, and some Chinese versions are in there as well. So I can scroll around and see those as well as some other additional English versions. If I want to find a verse, I can type in the language that I am using, or I can click and simply get a list of books and chapters as I click along, and it will show that in whatever language you're in. The names of the books will be in that particular language. Um, if I'm studying here and I want to remove a column, I can do that by clicking the X here. I can also add additional columns, as many as you really want until it starts getting formatted strangely. So you can add as many of those as you need, and remove them as you please, or just use a single column or however you want to study. There's also a number of configuration options built into the application. So if I click this little gear up here, I can see that there's some options for how the colors of the application look, or even the font sizes that are font type and size that are used, so they can be increased or decreased or changes. There's also an option to take out the verse numbers if you just want to simply be able to read the text without that distraction, or take out all of these notes here as well. You can hide those. If they're turned on, you'll notice that when you put your mouse over a verse, you'll get the notes down at the very, very bottom. All the notes are printed out for that particular verse, or you can simply click on a note and get information about that. The Net Bible, for example, has very extensive notes, and those will come up in a pop-up as well. You may have also noticed that when I'm putting my mouse over individual words, sometimes those words will highlight as well, and that's because this Net Bible text and this Tischendorf Greek text have the underlying Strong's numbers marked, so that when I put my mouse over a word, I can see the English and then the Greek version there. I can also click on that and get a nice definition for that, and then be able to click and search for all the occurrences of that term. So if I search around here in John, I can notice some interesting things showing up in the text. I'm going to go ahead and turn the verse numbers back on to make it a little bit easier to see there. As I scroll around, I notice that there's some words that are underlined with various colors. What's going on there is that there's some text highlighting options that let you highlight a particular Strong's word. In this case, I have G2424, which is Jesus, and I have that turned red. Or any term that's used 5 times or fewer, I have that with a green underline. I could also say highlight everything with the aorist tense and make that have a background color of red or a background color of blue. What that'll do is highlight all the terms that are in the aorist tense in the Greek text. So as I scroll along and I keep looking down here, I can find words like these two city names, which are rare, or even scroll up to other texts and find additional rare words. Switch over to the New American Standard Version here. I notice that there's a word evil and another word evil which is underlined, and this word for evil is different than this word for evil. I can click on this Find All Occurrences, which will bring up the search window, and it will find all the occurrences in the New Testament of that particular word for evil, and then click on that to go to that passage. The search here, when I'm searching just the New Testament, it's pretty quick. If I want to search the entire Bible for a word like light, it's going to end up being a little bit slower. It'll probably take somewhere around 10 seconds to get through the entire Bible. This isn't nearly as fast as a full desktop application, but what it allows you to do is to have something that you don't actually install and that runs just in the browser. So there, in this case, it took about 11 seconds to find every usage of light, and in the New American Standard Version, that's used 270 times. There's also some fun media that's going to be showing up here in the application. So in this case, what we only have right now is some images, but when I put my mouse over a verse like John 3:1 and I click on this little picture icon, it's going to show pictures of Nicodemus and Jesus that I can look at. And we'll be adding additional media such as video and audio to that as well. I mentioned that this is running here just on my desktop. I have the Bible browser here, and when I open it up in my browser, it's going to give me the option to use a mobile version or a desktop version. The desktop is what we've been looking at so far, but if I go back to the mobile version, it would look like this on a mobile phone, and I can go and look at a particular version and open up any book there and move forward or move backward throughout the text and get back to the books. And that will work on really any mobile phone that has a browser in it. And then even the desktop version will work pretty well even on a phone or an iPad, so that you can do any kind of Bible study that you need to do. I hope this is a great demo for you, and look forward to future developments from the Digital Bible Society. Thanks.